The Captain America chopper from Easy Rider is an icon of freedom. But behind the legend are some truly bizarre twists. Did you know this famous Harley was once stolen at gunpoint and even traded for a bag of weed? From secret builders to lost bikes, here are 9 weird facts you probably didn't know about the 1969 Captain America Harley-Davidson. Number 1. Built by uncredited builders. Many fans assume Peter Fonda or the film's crew built the Captain America bike, but in reality it was assembled by 2 visionary custom builders, Clifford Sonny Voss and Ben Hardy. Fonda brought them on to create the movie's motorcycles following his ideas, and they sourced old Harley-Davidson bikes to transform. In fact, one story says they started with a 1952 Harley Hydra Glide police motorcycle that Fonda bought at auction, stripping it down to the 74 CI panhead engine as the heart of the chopper. Voss and Hardy then fashioned the stretched frame, extended forks, tall sissy bar, and the Stars and Stripes gas tank that made the bike iconic. Yet after a behind-the-scenes dispute, Voss was fired and their names were largely erased from the project. For decades, these 2 builders received little credit for crafting what would become an iconic movie motorcycle. It wasn't until many years later, as late as 2014, that Voss finally got public recognition for his role in designing the Captain America chopper. Number 2. 4 motorcycles were built for the film. You might be surprised to learn that the filmmakers didn't rely on just one Captain America bike. In fact, 4 customized Harley choppers were built for Easy Rider. There were 2 primary hero bikes along with 2 identical stunt doubles used for the movie's dramatic climax. This meant there were actually 2 Captain America choppers, one for most riding scenes and an indistinguishable twin set up for the crash and fire stunts. Using multiple bikes was necessary so the filmmakers could destroy a bike in the final scene without halting production. All 4 bikes were built from late 1940s-50s Harley-Davidson panhead models that the team heavily modified into outrageous outlaw machines. Number 3. Stolen at gunpoint after filming. One of the strangest turns in the Captain America bike's journey happened right after filming wrapped. According to legend, 3 of the 4 Easy Rider motorcycles, including the second Captain America and both Billy bikes, were stolen at gunpoint from the film's mechanic, Tex Hall, shortly after production ended. Armed thieves made off with the bikes just weeks before the movie's premiere, and those original machines were never recovered. This daring heist left the filmmakers and cast stunned. Nearly all the movie's motorcycles vanished just as Easy Rider was hitting theaters. The theft added an air of mystery to the film's legacy, and to this day, nobody knows what became of those stolen choppers. Number 4. The only survivor was a charred wreck. With the others gone, the only Captain America bike that remained was the one that had been wrecked and burned during the movie's finale. In Easy Rider's climactic ending, Wyatt's beloved chopper gets blasted by a shotgun and tumbles in a fiery crash. That heavily damaged stunt bike left scorched, and with its frame cracked from the impact, was the sole survivor among the original 4. It's ironic that the most famous motorcycle in pop culture endured only as a charred wreck. For years, that blackened frame and engine were all that was left of the Captain America bike. Eventually, this burnt husk was painstakingly restored, and today, it's proudly displayed in the private collection of the late Paul Allen. The legendary chopper literally rose from the ashes to ride again, at least as a museum piece. Number 5. Grizzly Adams saved the burned bike. How did that ruined Captain America wreck avoid the scrap heap? Credit goes to actor Dan Haggerty, best known as TV's Grizzly Adams. Haggerty had worked on Easy Rider and was a friend of Fonda's. After filming, stuntman Tex Hall handed Haggerty the twisted, soot-covered remnants of the Captain America bike for safekeeping. Haggerty stashed the charred frame and parts in his garage, leaving them untouched for about 20 years. For 2 decades, the famous chopper's remains quietly gathered dust in Haggerty's possession, essentially a time capsule of the movie hidden away. In the early 1990s, Haggerty finally commissioned a rebuild, bringing Captain America back to life from those long-neglected pieces. It's wild to think that the iconic motorcycle everyone recognized on screen was, for years, lying in bits in a Hollywood actor's garage. Number 6. The $135 million sale. That wasn't. In 2014, the Captain America chopper made headlines for a jaw-dropping auction appearance. It was reported that the bike sold for $135 million, supposedly the highest price ever paid for a motorcycle. This huge number grabbed headlines. But here's the twist. The deal fell apart behind the scenes. Controversy over the bike's authenticity caused the sale to be nullified after the gavel fell. In other words, that record-breaking $135 million bid was announced, but the buyer never actually took the bike home. One curious side note. Peter Fonda was even offered a 10% cut to help promote the Captain America bike's 2014 auction. Legend says Fonda turned it down, but in truth he initially agreed until a spat with his manager made him withdraw, fueling more drama. The famous price tag turned into a false alarm thanks to the dispute over which bike was genuine. So while $135 million is often cited as Captain America's value, it wasn't truly paid in the end. Number 7. Feud over. Which bike was the real deal? A bizarre rivalry unfolded over time. Two different men claimed they owned the real Captain America. Decades after Easy Rider, collector Gordon Granger bought a Captain America bike in 1996, believing it was the genuine article. Meanwhile, the burned frame Haggerty kept was also rebuilt and ended up with another owner, John Parham, and later in the hands of collector Michael Eisenberg. Each side insisted their bike was the true Captain America used in the film. The feud escalated around the 2014 auction, even drawing in Peter Fonda at one point with conflicting endorsements. It finally culminated with Haggerty coming clean. After a lie detector test, Haggerty admitted the bike he sold to Granger contained only a few bits and pieces, nothing more, from the original, whereas the Parham-Eisenberg bike carried the actual movie-used frame. This dramatic confession settled the matter. Essentially, only the Captain America built from the charred stunt bike could claim an authentic lineage to the film. The saga of dueling Captain Americas remains one of the strangest chapters in this motorcycle's lore. Number 8. A promo bike was traded for weed. As if Captain America's story couldn't get any more countercultural, one of the replica bikes ended up in a truly odd exchange. The studio built a couple of extra Captain America motorcycles for promotional photos and publicity events. Dennis Hopper kept one such promo bike at his home in Taos, New Mexico, until he traded it to a local guy nicknamed Rodent for a bag of marijuana and a ping-pong paddle. Yes, you heard that right. Perhaps the most famous motorcycle in the world was once swapped for some weed and a ping-pong paddle. That barter deal sounds like something straight out of a hippie biker tale, but it really happened. It's an absurd footnote for a symbol of 1960s rebellion, showing that not every piece of Easy Rider memorabilia was treated as priceless back in the day. Number 9. The movie's epic ride was only 47 miles. Easy Rider makes it seem like Wyatt and Billy rode their choppers clear across America's highways, but movie magic can be deceiving. In reality, Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper only logged about 47 miles on those bikes during the entire filming of the movie. The crew transported the motorcycles between far-flung locations, and the actors would ride just short stretches for the camera. Clever editing then stitched those snippets into the appearance of one long, continuous road trip on film. Knowing that the grand cross-country journey amounted to less than 50 miles of actual riding is pretty mind-blowing. Basically, a decent afternoon ride by normal standards. It just shows how much myth-making surrounds the Captain America chopper. Despite the short, real distance traveled, the bike's cultural journey has been enormous, solidifying its status as a two-wheeled icon of the open road and a symbol of the 1960s counterculture.